When I started out Legion, I had a lot of hopes, man. I love it. I love the game. I'm not quitting, but I am getting definitely burnt out. It's hard not to after been playing it for as long as I have. I mean, putting out 2 years a day, goddamn. I'm somebody who loves variety. I love ever-changing environment. I love when things just go, change, bam. This class is all of a sudden good. Now this class all of a sudden good. And I feel like in Legion we didn't get too much variety, just in this aspect of PvP. The way I look at WoW is I could look at it as the whole full thing, PvE and PvP. I like to separate them though because they do feel like its own game. The PvE side, 8 out of 10, great game. I could play it forever. I love it. I love playing different classes. The PvE side, yes, having fun. The PvP, however, I love it because I have my Outlaw Rogue, but if I didn't play Outlaw, I don't know if I'd be playing really. I mean, there's some specs that I can, check out once in a while, but I don't know, it's really hard to just care when it's not my Outlaw at this point. It could be burnout. There's a lot of green in Legion. We had a lot of green at the end of Warlords. Maybe it's just a green overload at this point. Who knows? But I love when we have a lot of variety for PvP. Like, think back in Pandaria. We got a lot of variety back then. Yes, it wasn't a perfect expansion for PvP by any measure, but we had a lot of stuff to do. You had 3 new BGs to play with. And I believe they added a few arenas back then too. But the 3 new BGs, that's more flags to run, that's more orbs to capture, that's more players to kill, that's stuff to do around a battleground. We did get 2 new arenas in Legion, and I understand that, but when you compare 2 new arenas in Legion compared to 3 new BGs in Mists of Pandaria, what do you do in Arena? You got more pillars to hide behind and hump, you have some ledges you can jump off of, but for the most part, your objective doesn't change. You're trying to kill the other team. You're trying to kill the healer or the DPS or whatever. You're still doing the same old thing, no matter the situation, really. In BGs, you get to change what you do. You get to change different types of flags you run, different points you have to capture, how you work with your team. I feel like there's a lot more variety there. Yes, we have brawls, but they're not consistent. They're here for a week, where it's like an awesome brawl, or maybe not even that great of a brawl, is here for a moment, and then it's gone. So if I could always queue for a Snowy Alterac Valley and what is it, the Silver Shard one, and then there's also Shadow Pan Showdown in the arena, then the 15 versus 15 arena, and if you could add a South Shore versus Terran Mill, if I could queue for those all day, I wouldn't say anything. But those brawls are there for like a week. So if I get Deep Wind Dunk on my Rogue, I don't really have any interest playing it. I can play on my Demon Hunter, where I can actually be tanky enough to finally get to the enemy side and, get the dunk in. But on my Outlaw Rogue, good luck, I'm squishy, man. So it's the type of brawls where some of them are fun, but they're not, the fun ones don't always hang around, and then you get those weeks where for a whole week you have a brawl you don't really like. I also would have loved if there was more class variety. I honestly was excited when they said honor talents and how they were going to tweak them and change them. I would love it if, out of nowhere, let's say you're playing RBGs and Demon Hunter right now is the best tank. All of a sudden, in a patch, they decided, well, we're going to try to buff up Prot Warrior and make Prot Warriors the best flag runner for a bit. Now everybody who plays Prot Warrior that's been playing for, however long can now get their chance to shine, and everybody's looking for Prot Warrior for RBGs, and now all those guys have been playing Prot get to play and get the rating they want, and they're finally viable and useful compared to like a Demon Hunter. Next patch, it's all about the Bear Druid, I love it when if it was this kind of variety, just always constantly changing, ever changing. I love it. I love it. This is my favorite thing. And I guess you have some variety in 3s. When it comes to PvP, there are some comps that keep coming up, like Double Demon Hunter made a debut twice in 2 different patches. Well, it really was, I think, a patch either 7.2 or 7.15, and then in 7.3, and they didn't really get any buffs for whatever they were trying to do. So it's cool in 3s, but most people play other BGs, or it's easier just to find one guy instead of 2 guys to do 2s. And in 2s, it's all healer DPS. I talked about it before, healer DPS. I feel like that'll just never change, and I'm tired of just seeing yet another healer and a DPS, yet another healer and Me and Sav get so excited and giddy when we see another double DPS combo in the game. We lose some of them, we win some of them, but it's just so much more fun, because then once you get double DPS, the stakes are high. It's all about fast reaction, it's all about trinketing right, it's all about getting cooldowns popped. It's fast, like it's really quick, and it's super exciting when it's this quick, and I love it. And I would love to see more of it, but something tells me I doubt we will, because we have the meta. It's fine to have a stable meta. It allows, especially if that meta stays the same way for a while, it allows a lot of people the chance in order to get to whatever class they are, whatever class they want to play, and to be able to eventually improve and evolve. Let's say you're somebody who has been playing an Affliction Warlock and you're trying to get better in 3v3s, and if the meta stays the same way, then let's say Affliction Warlocks are strong in that meta, you'll eventually work your way up in the stable meta that doesn't really change too much, and you'll eventually get the rating you want. But I'm somebody who loves the ever-changing meta. I love it when things are just different all the time, when there's something new, maybe like once a month or something, once every single patch, once every single micro patch and whatnot. I love it. I'm not somebody who played WoW for a long while. I'm not somebody who played in BC, Vanilla, Wrath, so this is the kind of thing where it's like the same meta might just be a thing that a lot of players understand, because they've been around and been playing the same meta for the longest time. Then they are used to the fact that the game doesn't change that much. So that just could be me and my inexperience as a player who just hasn't played the game all too long. So that could be it. But for me, I love it when things just change. I love it when the environment is different. I love it. I love when there's just something new, something to improve on, something that's just out of left field and bam, here you go, adjust. But maybe a lot of people are just used to the idea that it's fine the way it is. I'm having fun with the way my class is. It really shouldn't change. It should stay the same way for a while, or for at least a considerable amount of time. Maybe after like a good patch or two, or after people are really on the edge of the seats of like quitting, then it should change. But I feel like there should be a lot more changes a lot more often. In Warlords General, PvP got a little bit stale, and if we could just look at the sub numbers. Blizzard said they're revamping the whole damn thing. We're getting honor towns, we're getting gear meaning less in PvP, we're getting this and that and this and that, and I was like, oh man, I'm sold, I'm excited. But I feel that once people got into Legion and it's been like, you know, a good few patches, people just kind of get the idea that maybe there's just more of the same here. It's not completely different like a WoW 2.0 kind of deal, but it's like, it's still will to work at PvP. You still basically have similar metas or similar style of metas, like Killer DPS dominating 2s, 3s being pretty melee heavy, at least at the beginning of the patch, stuff like that. But I guess maybe I was just one of those people that was really excited about whole new awesome, just great changes happening in the game. Bam, out of nowhere, Legion is just going to flip the script and flip the game on its head. It's going to be super exciting, but I don't know, maybe it's just, we just end up getting more of the same. Maybe that's where I'm like, you know, I guess a little bit salty on it. I guess if you were to ask me as a person, what would I prefer? And there's a few things that I like about WoW. Balance. Do I care about balance? Yes, but not if it intrudes on fun. I feel that in Mists of Pandaria, and I think a lot of you would agree, arms warriors were pretty busted as a spec. Let's be honest. They could sit in defensive stance with this infinite heal of second wind that healed them 4% every second. I think it was like 3% every second or something like that. And then they changed it to I think 3% every 2 seconds and then 2 every 1 second. Or something of that sort, but they were busted, man. They dealt a lot of damage. The burst was absolutely impossible to counter, and even if you were to counter the burst, they could stack up the... It was a buff they had, where at 5 stacks, the heroic strike would actually just one-shot you. It would just actually do like 300+ K worth of damage, which was basically your full health pool that you had back in MoP. Was it busted? Yes. Was I kind of unhappy about it as a rogue? Yes. But was it fun? Hell yes. It was a ton of fun. Yes, every time I would run into Warrior, I'd think, oh man, this is going to be insane. Or every time I'd run into Beastmaster Hunter before they finally got fixed, I thought, oh, this is going to be really hard. And I played a Restitute back then. Like, those two classes tore me to shreds. But it was still so much fun to see if you can beat those classes, to see if you can outplay them, and then you would find your own warrior, and then they would get buffs and nerfs and buffs and nerfs. And like, for example, rogues were really bad, but then in the patch they made them really good all of a sudden, and then they had to tone them down because Dagger in the Dark was way too strong, because you basically had ambush, cheap shot, and garrote teleport you to the target, kind of like what Shadow Strike does today while you're still in stealth, or I guess at the beginning of Legion. I love that kind of variance, and I think if you have a balanced game, cool. But if balance kind of intrudes on fun, then I don't really know how I feel. I feel, for example, even if I didn't play a rogue, let's say I play my mage. If Rogue's Subtlety just became complete glass cannon. In the opener, they have a 100% chance to just destroy you if they pop cooldowns. If they just get an opener, you're basically dead. But if you stop them and you dish out enough pressure into them, they just die so quick, they melt. That's a lot more fun, because then there's a lot more of this whole balance of, ooh, Subtlety Rogues are really, really strong. They're really powerful. You can't really beat them for the most part, or at least you think you can't, but they're really, really squishy to their glass cannon. So if you get opened by Subtlety, you gotta stop them, right? And if you can stop them and lock them down real quick and nuke them in that same moment, ooh, you can really have a lot of fun with that. And that's the kind of gameplay I guess I would personally be a huge fan of, to be honest. I love when there's a lot of high variance. I love when there's a lot of updates. I love it for just a class to just be, you know, terrible and out of nowhere, oh, super good. Oh, now, let's say for example, Arms Warriors was just terrible. Nobody played it. And Blizzard out of nowhere just gave them massive amounts of buffs, kind of like what they did with Pharaohs. Basically a Pharaoh situation, but if it happened a lot more often. They find a spec that just bad in PvP, doesn't see representation, overbuff them like a motherfucker, and then nerf them and to balance them down. So you overbuff them to get the hype going, nerf them down to balance them out. Yes, you might have a few people that are running around without specialization, maybe in BGs and just dominating, but give it a day or two and then they'll be balanced down. I think that'd be kind of cool, because if you overbuff them, you see where they need to be reduced, and then you down buff them, and then it becomes all, you know, all good, because now the spec is down and balanced on the same level as everybody else instead of being way under, but you get that hype going. And I'm also a huge fan of different aspects of the game, not just, let's say, what Blizzard focuses on, which is 3v3 and making sure 3v3s are balanced. I'm a huge fan of duels, and if duels could be brought back, that'd be cool too. I mean, some of my biggest viewed videos right now are the 5v5 duels, and I don't think it's because they're 5v5. I don't think it's because of my amazing NFL-like commentary that I got going on there, but I think it's mostly because it's duels. And yes, some classes are strong for duels, some are not, but it's still fun to watch duels. It's fun to spectate others duel and see what they do and see how they play. I mean, it's fun for me to watch, and if it's fun for me to watch, it's probably fun for other people, which would explain why they're getting the great reviews as they do. So, I don't know, I guess I expect a lot out of Legion, and I guess there's a lot to do with the game in the next expansion, or a lot of stuff they could do in like a next patch, maybe like a 3.7.5 just does a huge amount of PvP changes. That'd be kind of exciting, but I kind of doubt it. I mean, we'll just have to see, you know. Anyway, that's all I have for what I want from our PvP. Thanks for watching. It was kind of a long video, but I just want to get all my ideas out here, what I would love to see, maybe in the next expansion. Thanks for watching. I'll see all of you in the next video.